It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, a Peddler Cup last weekend at the beautiful Cleve Oval. Revamped club rooms there and plenty of teams heading down the highway. Of course, Eastern Eyre Netball were already there, most of them. Great Flinders, not far for them to travel, and a big weekend it was. Joe Franklin has been covering all the action there, the Under-15 Peddler Cup, and she joins me on the line. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing really well, and it was freezing cold. Absolutely freezing cold. And it was wet. Not that anybody complained about that, because we always need rain over this way. So, but yeah, it was really cold.
Yep.
But honestly, Eastern Eyre, as usual, marvellous, great job, did a fantastic job, and no doubt about the fact that that new Cleve sporting area is just fantastic. Great job there, and it was a really good day. Sharon Crittenden very aptly opened the day, and from there on it was just full on and flat strap. And Eastern Eyre, they unfortunately for them didn't win either the Shield or the Cup, but they didn't have a bad day in the Div 2s. In the Div 2s, they had a win first up. They defeated Western Eyre 17-9. Then they lost to Whyalla 24-13. They lost to Port Lincoln 13-24. Lost to Great Flinders 16. Yeah, that's right. They lost to Great Flinders 16-23. They actually defeated Whyalla, 24-13, right. Which meant that they finished third overall with 4 points. Best for the carnival for Eastern Eyre in the Div 2 Peddler Shield was Ataya Sampson, so a young girl from the Central Air United Storm,
yep.
I believe. So they enjoyed themselves, had a good day, even if they did get wet and cold. But it was all about competing and catching up with people that they haven't seen for a fair while. All those sorts of things is what that's all about. And unfortunately for them, their Div 1s didn't get a win for the day, so for them it was an even colder, wetter day. But once again, like they competed, like Sarah said, they competed with great enthusiasm, and they lost to Western Eyre 2024. They lost to Whyalla 9-19. They lost to Lincoln 9-31, and then they lost to Great Flinders 20-6. So their best for the carnival was Miranda Millard, who's one of triplets.
Wow.
And there's
half your team right there. Yeah,
exactly, absolutely. They had a great day. They really enjoyed it. They did a great job of hosting. Like I said, unfortunately, probably not quite the score line that they would have been after, but it's about competing, learning. Those girls will take all that sort of everything that they've learned back to their clubs, and they will be better for the whole experience.
Exactly, you're right. They will. They'll have the week off from club matches this week, Eastern Eyre, and well done to all of the organisers, those who put it all together for Eastern Eyre. You've already mentioned Great Flinders a couple of times, so we've heard a couple of their scores, but we should just go through their weekend, which was a little bit more successful in terms of win-loss than what Eastern Eyre were able to put up. So they had a pretty good weekend, Great Flinders, including making a grand final. Is that right?
Yeah, they did. So their Div 2s, they lost to Port Lincoln in the first round, 17-21. They then defeated Western Eyre 2015. They defeated Whyalla 27-7, and they defeated Eastern Eyre 23-16, which meant that they finished second on 6 points. They then played Port Lincoln in the grand final. Now, they had been defeated by round, but in the final, they were able to turn the tables, and they ended up winning the Peddler Shield 21-18. And the best for the carnival for Great Flinders in that division was Bianca Evans, so from Ramblers. So a great turnaround for them. Port Lincoln were a little bit shell-shocked, I think, in the first half, and just really didn't get back together. Great Flinders took full advantage of that and were able to take out the Peddler Shield. So obviously Peddlers were pretty happy about that.
I'll bet.
As well. It's a great effort by those Div 2 girls. Unfortunately, their Div 1s were not quite as successful. They lost to Port Lincoln 8-20. They defeated Western Eyre 23-21. I'm sure that Rhiannon will fill you in more about all the Western Eyre results. They lost to Whyalla 10-18. They defeated Eastern Eyre 20-6, which meant that they finished fourth. with 4 points. There was actually a couple of teams that finished with 4 points. A great Flinders finished there on percentage. And the best for the carnival for them was Eyre Peddler.
There you go.
So they might have perhaps expected to do just a little bit better than that maybe, but it all comes down to what happens on the day. But to wrap up the Peddler Cup, Port Lincoln won the Peddler Cup in extra time. They won all their games. Yeah, they won all their games throughout the round. Then they got to the grand final and played Whyalla. And Whyalla took it right up to them. It was a draw at full time. And I think then all of a sudden the girls thought, certainly their coach gave them a bit of a rev, but they also thought, we better really do something here, or we might not actually end up taking the Peddler Cup home again. And they actually played really well in the extra time, and they ended up winning 23-20. And young Dakota Wilkins from Waybacks was the best for the carnival for their Port Lincoln side. So Kylie Patrick was able to go to her old stomping grounds and bring the Peddler Cup back, which actually means for that side they've been to 3 carnivals and have had 3 wins. So
the Triple Crown.
Yeah. So Kylie's done a great job with those girls. So and I reckon that's probably because I'm sure that Rhiannon will give you a bit of a wrap for the other with Western Eyre.
Yep.
So for us, that's probably a bit of a wrap on Peddler Cup, and well done to everybody. Thanks to all the umpires, parents, coaches, managers, everybody that had anything to do with the setting up the day, because like I said, it was pretty cold and it was a little bit damp, and people to put themselves out and put in all the effort to make it all happen is fantastic.
Great hosts, Eastern Eyre. Whenever they get a chance to host something, they don't do it in halves. So, and great way to celebrate that club rooms there at Cleve being redone. Ironically, it was busted during a storm. Then it's been pretty dry in between now and the opening, which was pretty wet again. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let's move on to this weekend. There is some action for us to talk about on the court, not in Eastern Eyre. They're having the weekend off, but in Great Flinders, they've been given permission to play this weekend. The netball is playing as well?
Yes, they are. They are playing. So, interesting because, the middle week in the school holidays is never an easy task. There's no question about that. But, interesting that they were granted that. But, good on them. They're getting into it. And we're Tumby United Chalana at Tumby Bay.
Yes.
Like I said, the middle weekend of the school holidays, it's always a bit of a worry, and it's a bit of hit or miss about who is or isn't available. And mind you, with the COVID restrictions, I think that there was a few holidays that were deferred and put on hold. So there's probably a few more available than what there was going to be available. But look, Tumby should be too strong here. Stacey Curtis back in that Tumby side. Alex Stratford and young Sarah Laurie have been combining really well in goals for them. Kennedy McNamara, she's just strong, dynamic, never doesn't know how to give in at all. She's just flat strapped the whole time. I just think that they're probably going to be too strong. Look, young Lacey Manane, if she can continue her form from like the last game in goals where she did a fantastic job, then Tumby might just have to have a little bit of a think about that. But I think that, again, and we have said it every week, I know that United Chalana are a very young group of girls, but they are on the improve, and they are going to really benefit from having this season where they've been able to get out, have a crack, put a few different combinations together, and just realise what it's all about playing senior netball. There's no doubt that they will definitely benefit from the experience, but Tumby too strong.
Yep, should be. Much the same in the next game we'll talk about. Now, I believe this is scheduled for Kapini. I think I might have said during the football that they were going to be playing this game at Cummins, but I'm pretty sure it is at Kapini. Is that right?
Yes, it is at Kapini, and they actually they're training out at They train out at Kapini.
Yes.
Let's get that out. That's a bit harder to say than what I thought. Anyway, they did train out there, so they're definitely playing out there. Look, it doesn't get any easier for the Saints. Really and truly, it's coming up against this side. They are playing extremely well. Mind you, Saints have been able to include Nadia Baldacera has been around, so has helped them out, and I think that she might still be around this week, which will be a big help for those young kids that with the Saints. But look, young Holly Gale and Molly Burns, two very young players, a couple of guns there, have really stepped up in defence for Cougars, and they're doing a fantastic job, as has Hannah Green in goals with Ella Wedd. Spoken about Cougars centre court every week. It's just a very well-oiled machine, and unfortunately for the Saints, they're going to be way too strong.
Yep, you'd think so. And the last match of the round will be the match of the round, no doubt about that. Elliston Districts taking on Lock. Now, this match will be at Poochera. The last word we've heard, unfortunately for the footballers, the heritage strips that they had planned won't be arriving. But the netball skirts are already there, so they will be in purple, the Elliston Districts girls.
Yes, they will be. Yes, and they're very excited about that. They will be in the skirts.
Yes.
I'm not sure they're so excited about that. However, no, they have their heritage dress has turned up, and they are very excited about celebrating the 100 years at Poochera, because it's also on their new courts, Jace, which they're very excited about as well. It's the first time that they're going to get to use those, and I sincerely hope, and they said that they have trained on them and they're not, I sincerely hope that they're nowhere near as slippery as what the new Port Lincoln ones are. I think they did their homework way more and have come up with a very good sponge underneath, and the whole, they've really gone into it, and they look fantastic. They've sent me a couple of photos, and it looks fantastic, and they're really, really looking forward to this game. They're really looking forward to getting out and really celebrating. 100 years is amazing for any little small town to be able to keep surviving and keep their facilities up to the standard that they've been able to. So congratulations to them, and good luck to them. Look, this game last time was a very interesting game, and again, we're in that situation where one win or one loss could see you drop right out of the four and have to try and scrape your way back up. So this game is really important to both sides. Lock have looked at their fitness and their footwork at training this week, especially with their defenders. Tara's really aware of just how quick Elliston can move the ball and of their height. But their combinations are growing, and they're going to have a little bit of a different look side to what they had against Elliston last time. So they're really looking forward to the challenge. Look, Elliston have, because they needed a bit more height to come back in, Elliston have got Kate Lowby back in to goals again this week, which actually means that for the first time for the whole year they've got 8 to play around with on the day. So that will certainly bring them some flexibility, especially in the goals. So Kate will actually have a bit of a choice between like Courtney Hale, Tash Paul and Kate. So that will be really interesting to see just what she does there. Nikki Schubert and Kelsey Hull have been amazing in defence in the last couple of games. So, look, I just think that this is going to go right down to the wire, I reckon. But in the end, I really think that Elliston Districts are going to want to have a win to celebrate their 100th, the 100 years of Poochera, and I think that's probably what they will do.
I agree. It should be a cracking weekend in Great Flinders Netball. There'll be big crowds because it's the only action on the Eyre Peninsula. So there'll be plenty of from surrounding associations and leagues getting up for it. Look forward to it. Joe, we will catch up with you next week. Yeah, I reckon they will. Will you be heading up there?
Actually, no, I won't be in Adelaide. But just one quick thing, because we're so proud of this. Hannah Petty actually on Sunday plays her 50th game for the Thunderbirds. So from everybody on Eyre Peninsula, we wish Hannah all the very, very best, and I really hope that her team can get around her, rally around her, because that's what she deserves, to have a win in her 50th game. She she got to watch Harry play footy, and then Harry's been allowed to stay to watch her play her 50th game. So we wish her all the very best, and she knows how proud Eyre Peninsula are of her, and we hope that she gives... Yeah, that she comes away with a win would be fantastic.
Here. Couldn't agree more, Joe. Well said. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Certainly will. Thanks, Jace. Bye.